Good morning, everybody. It is currently 3:30 in the morning. It's very early. I am actually going to Workbench Con in Atlanta. So I am going to be flying out to this morning. It starts today, registration's today. I'll land there maybe at like 1 p.m. or so, and then we'll go from there. But I'm gonna take you along for the ride, see what's going on, show you a little bit about what it's all about, and yeah, so enjoy. Just got to Atlanta, to the hotel. Beautiful view of a roof. I mean, I can't really complain because I'm at Workbench Con. So we'll see what's going on downstairs at some point today. The registration's today, and then tomorrow everything starts. So I will update you along the way. Okay, so I'm going downstairs, grab my badge, going down a somewhat sketchy looking staircase area, because you go down the stairs and then you're gonna go through like this back room area. So you kind of just walk through here, down the hallway, and then you have to go through some doors. I don't know why they have the stairs this way, blocking the camera, but there's the doors out. So I'll give you a quick tour of something too that I thought was really cool. So here's what I thought was cool. So this is my third Workbench Con, second time as a speaker. This is the first time I've seen like a speaker lounge where people can kind of come and just relax for a minute. So that's really cool. And they have some things in here that I thought I would show you. So you come in the door, there's a cooler with drinks, water, soda. And then over here, there's a bunch of snacks and then some water bottles. So that's all new to me. I actually think that's really great because as a speaker and you're going around and you're talking a lot to people, having like water you can get easily that's cold and a little snack because you don't get a lot of food breaks when you're here. Those are all fantastic additions in my book, and I hope they keep doing it. Some of the people getting set up for their booths. I just picked up my swag bag, so let me show you what is in the bag. All right, so this is the bag this year, just a clear Workbench Con bag. And if I dump it out, there's a router bit storage thing. This is, I opened it before and I already forget. There you go. It is a drill and driver. Then we have a little cutting tool, a Craig crosscut portable sled, it looks like, a hat, sandpaper stuff, pigments if you do epoxy work or if you use CA glue. This is like a tiny ring light, little lanyard, more sandpaper, some flexible spreader squeegee things. Looks like a bunch of just pamphlets in here and stickers, coupon codes, that kind of stuff. A hat, another sticker, the map to the events and schedule is in here, along with some candy. And then a tiny clamp. Little thing from my friends over at District Leather Supply. That's cool looking. And some walrus oil stuff. So that's what comes in the bag. All right, it is day 2 of Workbench Con. So this is like official first day where you actually have classes. So my class is at 11. I have that. And then most of the day is going to be other classes I'm going to, and then talking to companies that are here. So I'll show you a little bit about it and we'll go from there. And here's where I'm gonna be teaching. So, starting to get prepped, and we'll see how it goes. It's the last day of Workbench Con. I'm heading downstairs for breakfast and the sessions, but I'll show you around a little bit more and wrap up the rest of the conference.
Same thought process. When Facebook killed my account and I lost access to 33,000 people, I don't have their emails. Don't press really hard to get it to line up.
I didn't film a lot yesterday, which was the last day of Workbench Con. It was a lot of fun. I did find it very useful. But I'm gonna go head back to the airport, fly back home, and then I can recap some of what happened when I get back. So let's go home.
Welcome aboard the plane train. Please hold on. This train is departing.
I promised you I'd do a recap of Workbench Con. So I got back yesterday. I was home for maybe like 18 hours. And then I flew back out for business. So I'm on a different trip now, still in a hotel room. But I thought that I'd go through this and give you some of my takeaways to decide whether or not you may want to go to Workbench Con next year. So the first takeaway in general is Workbench Con was a great place to network with other makers, get to know other people, and create some relationships. Now, I have friends that I hadn't seen in 2 or 3 years, and when you're there, it kind of just feels like you've always been talking in those last 2 or 3 years. So it's a really cool experience from that point of view. So the number one takeaway is definitely the networking opportunities that you have, whether that's with some of the companies there. I will say that probably 95% of them were woodworking related. I do not do woodworking anymore, so it doesn't really make sense for me from a company standpoint. Now, there are certain opportunities, like Wall Control was there, District Leather Supply. Those aren't woodworking specific, and those were kind of helpful. But in general, I would say the networking opportunities that you get out of Workbench Con are very useful. The second one is the classes. So there were classes for basically the 2 full days that Workbench Con ran. I went to, I think, including my own, I went to 5 others. So you get to basically go to 6 in the span of 2 days. Each one was about an hour and a half long, and they were very helpful this time around. So the first time I went to Workbench Con, I would say they were very focused on the high channels, people with, millions of followers, and they all talked about social media, and not all of it was relevant the first time I ever went. This time, a lot of smaller channels were also speaking. A lot of them were very geared towards specific subjects, like how to grow revenue, how to make money with affiliates, all this kind of stuff. And it was more useful, I think, this time around. So in my mind, those are really the two big reasons to go, are the networking opportunities and then the things that you can learn while you are there. It also gives you opportunity to meet some of those bigger people that you've been watching for years that you may never have spoken to before. So I know from a woodworking standpoint, the people I got to meet or have met in the past ones and talk to them again this time, you'll see like Brad Rodriguez there from Fix This Build That, Ben Ueda was there, and there's a whole bunch. So if that's something you're looking for, that might be useful as well. Overall, when you're going to Workbench Con, it's a lot of talking and networking and getting to know people. So the third thing really is just be willing to talk to people and be somewhat outgoing. And I'm a very introverted person. I'm not a big fan of, going up to random strangers and inserting myself into a conversation. It doesn't feel natural to me. So for me, actually teaching a class or submitting to teach a class is a good way to get by that hurdle, because you get to talk to about 50 people. I think there were over 50 that attended the course or the session that I did. And after that, they started coming up to me and talking to me, and I didn't have to be the one to kind of go out there and kind of go against what felt natural to me, which was very helpful for me to network with people. I met a lot of cool people that were a lot better at things than I am when it comes to TikTok following or Instagram following or whatever. But I was able to help them with more of working with companies and stuff like that. So there's definitely people there that know things that you don't, and it's good to collaborate and meet with them, because then you can take that relationship after Workbench Con and help each other grow along the way. So you definitely make a lot of friends there, and I think that's a great thing that comes out of it. Now, as far as the last two that I'm really going to talk about, I'm going to talk about two of the things I learned that to me were very insightful, and they're things I've thought about before, but I didn't know the mechanics or the technical how-to behind it. The first one is like the email list and the funnels that people will drop us in when we sign up for a product or a course or whatever it might be. So these funnels have a specific path. Now, the path that I learned, and this was from Anika at Anika's DIY Life, I think that's the channel name. I will try to link it if I remember. But there's an opt-in email or an opt-in offer. So typically that's like a free how-to guide or a free download or something to get people to give you their email. Then there's the second step, which is a tripwire, which it says that it's on the confirmation email of signing up for the email list. And it gives them some kind of irresistible sale or offer for something that you do. This could be like an online course that you do, you offer a big percentage off, whatever it might be, to get an initial sale right off the bat. The third piece, or the third step, is doing order bumps. So these would be like small additional products that are on the checkout page when you're doing that. And then there's upsells, which are selling something that's more expensive than the thing they're buying, and downsells, which is something that is cheaper than the thing they're buying. And those all kind of play into this scenario. So as far as like the funnel journey, the thing that she pointed out was, one, you want to provide value. Then two, you want to create that opt-in for them to give their email to you. Three is you would create that tripwire, something to get them a sale right off the bat. Four is doing an order page with some kind of additional products. Five would be having some kind of upsell and downsell. And then six is driving value through the email list. So constantly provide value. She said that she sends like 2 emails a week. But she did say the most important thing is that you're just consistently sending an email at some period of time. They do recommend 1 a week so people know that you're there. You will get unsubscribes. It's just part of what happens. But it's good to hear some of that because I've experienced that myself with the unsubscribes. So it's good to know I'm not the only one. And then 7 would be offering something else with some kind of deadline. This could be like a full-blown course or a coaching opportunity or membership, whatever it might be. But that was one of the big ones that helped me because she laid out some of the tools that she used to do those things. So one is having an e-commerce store. She was using WooCommerce, but you could also use Shopify or something else. Having some kind of email management system. The one that I kept hearing over and over the whole conference was ConvertKit. I know you pay by how many subscribers you have to your email list, and it's got a lot of functionality, but she also said that MailChimp has something as well. So that was like the first thing I learned, or one of the first classes I went to that I think was really, really helpful. Now, there were other ones that I went to. So I went to one on how to double your affiliate income. That one was good. It felt very much pushy, like a very much sell kind of thing. And that's just not who I want to be. So that one, while there were good takeaways, it's not something that I would do in practice, probably. And then the next course, or the next class that I went to, was creative ways to monetize your business. So one of the things I kept seeing too is all of these people that have blogs that make them money. And I was always like, well, Google Ads will go on a website, but like I don't know how to set any of that up. And two of the ones that actually came up were AdThrive, which is some plugin or website you use, and they will put the ads on your website for you and help you with all of that stuff, which I need to look into that more, but that was very interesting to me because I didn't know how they were doing it, and it always seemed very complicated, but I'm going to look into it and see what there is in it. So overall, I'm just looking at my notes here. So those were, I would say, some of the biggest things that were helpful to me and kind of helped me think of ways I can do this. So the email list, you definitely want to grow an email list because it's yours that way. It's not being dictated by like Etsy or something else. So that's very helpful. And then another one was actually taught by Brad Rodriguez, which was Facebook and how to make money off of old content. Now, this does play into the fact that you have to have somewhat of a following on Facebook, and I don't, so I'm going to see if I can grow it there as well. But essentially, they have a Reels program and a video program, kind of like Instagram. And basically, he was saying, like, he takes his old content that he made 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, makes little shorts or reels out of them, and then posts them to Facebook natively and gets income from the reels. And it doesn't require filming anything new. It's you're reusing content that you've used in the past. And the biggest thing that he said was he actually has reposted the same video multiple times because constantly it gets sent to new people and it ends up helping drive more revenue through the Facebook monetization program. So those are some of the things that, or the key 5 things that I kind of took away from Workbench Con. I have a bunch of notes still that I'm going through that would be helpful, but I wanted to share what I had learned, what I thought of it. That was my 3rd year at Workbench Con. Honestly, it was the best one I've been to. I do plan to try to go next year as well if I can make it happen. So I do encourage it. It's a great place to meet people. I do feel it's very woodworking oriented still because that's kind of where it grew from. That's where its roots are. And I do hope that they have more like CNC laser. They did have a lot more CNC stuff this time, but they didn't have any laser. So it'd be nice to see laser 3D printing, more of the techie side coming in But we'll see if that happens. So, but I wanted to share what I took away from it and see what you guys all think. So if you have questions about Workbench Con, let me know. Put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer whatever you got. But that's going to do it for the video. I do want to thank you for watching. Being able to have you guys watch and subscribe and share and like the videos, it's a lot of how I get to go to these conferences and be able to learn and then share that information back again. I do hope to learn some things from the notes I took and then implement them myself and then report back on whether or not these tips worked or not for me. But the biggest thing that I took away from all of this is consistency. You have to be consistent. You always have to be putting something new out, I would say weekly. That seemed to be the minimum frequency that they talked about. And that's really what's going to help you grow. It doesn't really matter if your content is super polished or super great or anything else. A lot of it is the combination of you're doing it frequently and you're sharing things that are useful. They work together. You can't have just one of the two. So, but yeah, follow me on Instagram, check it out. I Maker Experiment on there. Again, if you have questions, comments, if you have ideas for new videos, put them in the comments below. But that's going to do it for the video, and I'll see you in the next one.